Here you go, guys. Let's hop into this one. 3v3 round of 126 for the win cheese and the lads he assembled together. Let's see if for the win cheese is going to be the full cheddar sandwich or if it's just going to be one layer of a 4-piece pizza and then they're going to be an ingredient short. You can tell my mind's on food right now. So, guys, for those who are unfamiliar with For the Win Cheese, For the Win Cheese has made a little bit of a name for himself in recent tournaments because of some of the players he's been able to eliminate. So if you guys caught the SteelSeries Prime Cup, which we weren't able to personally because we were doing the Halo tournament, he was able to eliminate Hera, was the most notable name. There were a few others in there that he blitzed through, but definitely the one at the top of the pack that everyone would have noticed would have been Hera that lost to For the Win Cheese 2-1. And that's why I'm kind of intrigued. This guy on the round of 128, it shouldn't be that too hard for him to get through these lads. I haven't seen anything on Pingu, Utku, or Crowbar, but I'm always willing to be surprised in these games. Remember, guys, the way that these rounds will open up, every series will begin here on Dry Arabia to open up the best of ones. Obviously, that will be the only map, and then the best of threes, it will always begin with Dry Arabia, and then any follow-up maps will be chosen by the loser of the last map. Rules are as followed, by the way. No repeat civs from your previous match. That resets at the beginning of a new series. And then also, if you have picked a civ in the game, obviously you can't have two on the same team. So that's why you notice this diversification, right? There isn't all Mongols or all Rus. They're trying to avoid that cheesy element that could always come out. But this one, as I said, For the Win Cheese definitely looking like the formidable character in this entire lobby. If we would actually look up a few of these other guys, I think their rankings were a little bit less impressive. So ArchSimKat doesn't even like have data. This is like probably a Smurf. It's not his main account. Mr. Crowbar, I believe I checked on him. He was around the 3.5k range on the leaderboards right now in terms of like his overall ranking. He's at 1273 elo rating. Pingu, I believe, was similar, if I'm not mistaken. So Pingu, Fanboy. Oh, no, Pingu's a lot higher. Okay, we're not giving him appropriate credit. He's 1,000th in the world, around that range. 1,409 elo ranking after 144 games. That's respectable. That's not too bad. Utku, if I recall correctly, was the one that... yes, he's the highest. 262 on the leaderboards with 1,593 elo rating. So these guys overall came pretty well prepped. And to round it out, of course, Mr. Crowbar, like I said, we couldn't find data. Blodir, the final one to check in this lobby, is sitting 256. So you have got some decent rankings. No top 100, which is why a lot of people might sleep on this game a bit. I say that no top 100. For the Win Cheese is the top 100, right? He's 55th in the world. He's the one that you'll notice. The rest just sliding under the radar, but no reason to do so, right? These guys are competent, and we should get a good game here. So... let's look at the format here, right? Like, let's look at the composition, because right now we have got a Mongol on each side, we've got a Rus on each side, and then the diversification coming out, the pivot point, is actually going to be China on Team 2, and then Team 1 did go for France. Now, France has proven incredibly dominant here in these Dry Arabian maps in 3v3s. It gives you a lot of tempo setting. You're able to roam the map with the knights and reign supreme for the first 15-20 minutes. The whole point being usually you're looking to buffer another element of your team. And the element they have here is they have two choices, right? You've either got the Rus player or the Mongol that can be your boomer up. And looking at the format here, with Pingu being the center, this could be a game where the Mongol player decides to opt into trade. I've seen a lot of players experiment with it. I've just been underwhelmed so far. I think it's too slow to come online, especially if you're up against high-pressure type civs. And when we look at the other side, that's definitely what I'd say is happening with Team 2 here. Cheese is playing the Rus, so by about 10-15 minutes, he's going to be hard into those horse archers, spamming them out, and causing you a lot of anarchy, because he might be your booming civ. Meanwhile, in the center, China, they could be the flexi, they actually could be the boom civ themselves as well, or they can opt early into, like, Zhugnu for a lot of pressure. The more concerning one is that I think in the north, ArchSimKat could actually ramp up pretty hard here, but instead he's being greedy. This is not what I want to see. So, it's not the end of the world that ArchSimKat has chosen to go into the Silver Tree here, mainly because the map is so big that you can argue there's not as much value to be gained out of the Deerstone. But this does start sending signals, the wrong kind of signals to me here, the kind that are just going to force my motherboard to fry out, because this could be him spamming into the caravans, or it could just be him giving options later. The problem with him going into trade here is you're up against civs that are actually quite high tempo. right? Rus, like I said, come online very quickly. The Mongols, this is more like it, are going to look to be tempo from the center. And then rounding it out in the south, we said France is comfortable going into those knights. And considering that they are on the flank and vulnerable to potential attacks, I wouldn't be surprised if Crowbar did ramp up the knight production and hang around in feudal longer. And that's risky to you, because it means that while you might not be assaulted in the north too early, my concerns come with what's going to happen in the center and the south, where your teammates might be outnumbered, or even if you do get a caravan route up in the north here, you are going to be exposed to Rus horse archer spam around that 10-minute mark, and it's very hard to defend against that. So, opening up, good sign is that there is no traders being built right now. So this should just be a select choice by him to give himself the flexibility to trade resources, maybe a fallback plan later. Silvertree does scale phenomenally, remember, into that kind of late game situation, courtesy of getting those, those nice trade routes going. The more traders that are in there, the more resources you get. But for the moment, he's chill on it, and that's important. I think if he engaged with that, it's very throwy, because look at the center. Blodir, he's your boomer. This is usually the way you want to do it. There is a way to fix this in lobby so that the person in the center, the person who's first listed on your team is going to be a center player. And that's the strategic layer to this, right? Whoever's in the center has flexibility to greed. And it's interesting to me that Team 1 didn't do this, right? Pingu went into the Deerstone. That's not exactly greedy coming out from him. And he's already dropping an archery range and a stable, which suggests that he's going to be the ramp-up factor in that early feudal timing, right? And it looks like, if anything, this might leave a lot more wiggle room for, in the north, your Rus player to just be your standardized Castle Age rusher. Meantime, rushed across the map, Crowbar. Already to the pro scouts, already just boosting out a long line of scouts and looking to grab carcasses from close to his enemies. I like this move. This is actually really cool. This specific matchup, the way this is mirrored, right? So you've got the French player and the Rus player close together. And what's happening is you're exploiting the closest enemy's deer stacks to prolong the time it takes for the Cheese to boost up. This is actually a cool target move as well, because remember, Cheese is the highest rank on this team, so he should be the carry, right? Logically, you'd think. And the cool part about this is that even though he's on the flanks, and even though that he's not meant to be the greedy player, as we can see the greed in the center with 3 TCs now, he can get away with the Rus greed because it's so fast compared to other civs. Interesting early market as well, so maybe they're prepping for that element. I hope not. But 3 TCs, this is overwhelmingly greed out of Blodir, and he's still gathering stone. Is he going for a 4th? I don't think I've seen a player do this in a while. Overseeing the mine camp here to get extra stone, if he's boosting up to 4 TCs, this could leave him very vulnerable right now. You can see that Utku's already about to crack it and go up to castle as the Rus, and that's when the pressure's going to come out. And my concern is that right now, your Mongol player is on the front, and these archers alone won't counter horse archers. And meanwhile, China is in their own little merry world with 4 TCs. Yeah, they're ramping up. They're not slowing down. All right, that's a little bit scary to see to me. I think he's overdone it at this stage. Unless you have some clear, like... Oh, wait, what? Sorry, did I say 4 TCs? I meant 5 TCs. What is this guy doing? I mean, Blodir, he should know what he's doing, right? He's 256th in the world, so he knows something we don't. I just feel like even with the size of the map, this is too greedy. You're going to have a situation where it's going to be 2 versus 3 for the next 5 minutes. You're going to suffer. You already are. ArchSimKat caught running over. His Khan's out of position. He's going to die as well. Maneuver arrow to try and get away, but look, Pingu still has his maneuver arrow. He doesn't even have to waste it. He's holding on to it. The horseman's going to finish it off. He'll finally engage now, and now they can raid through. This is where you're going to get punished. Utku, there it is. He's teched up. So right now, that's just 2 players aggressing. You're about to see a 3rd player get involved. The archer range is already being dropped. Utku ready to ramp up. And FTWCheese in the south, he's unengaged right now for the moment, but that's only because Crowbar is moving directly to the north. They're looking to punish this. And they might be quick enough to do so. Rack's now being dropped. So the pivot is coming out. But they need to wrap in on the Chinese player here. I don't think they see this at all. No, they haven't really scouted this out. They might find out the info soon, though, if they keep wrapping towards the west. But I think they're going to prioritize, yep, straight onto the Uvu. But there's already an outpost down. Instead, they're going to raid in, snipe out 1 or 2 of the Villies and look to back away. The Knights haven't arrived yet. That's the weakness right now, this formation for Team 1. Because the greed is in the north, the French player, he's going to be very slow to move across it because although it is Royal Knights, they don't move quickly. So there's that initial kind of missing burst around the 8-9 minute mark that will come online at a delayed minute or two, right? So by 11 minutes, expect a lot of diving to be occurring around China's base here. And this Barbican in the Sun is not going to protect you because you were too greedy. This layout is incredibly greedy. The only way this makes sense to me is if he's trying to inflate the economy of his other two players with trade, which could potentially be an option. I just don't think that's the way to play it right now. I think your teammates are going to be so in the gutter that it's not really going to help them as much as you think. Is anyone else looking to tech up? Right now, it looks like Pingu is almost there. This could be powerful. Upgrading those Magadai, they're surprisingly effective. In the meantime, Knights, they're wrapping in. And straight in onto the Villager lines. He's trying to garrison them in now. He'll do it for the moment, but you can just run rampant. And you stun his whole economy as you roll around, right? And remember, you're heavily armored. Free armor right now, but he can easily look to boost up in no time if he wants. Right now, I'm keeping an eye on Cheese. Cheese is the one I'm looking to see engage with the game on a higher level. And so far, I don't know what's happening with his economy. I mean, is this because... Yeah, this is because of the switchover. He switched over to farm so quickly because he didn't have the pro scouts to help him. He got it, and then most of the carcasses nearby him had been stolen away. Remember, Crowbar, he was quicker off the mark to do this, and as a result was able to snatch away the close-by carcasses. And even after returning further away ones, it seems like they're being pick dried too quickly. So instead, Cheese has just given up. It's a wasted investment. He spends all of that money early on going to pro scouts, and although we'll go collect carcasses now, what purpose does it serve when you've already slapped down this many farms? It's a quicker gather rate, but it's so tedious to then switch over. Usually, the whole concept is you do the deer, that covers you, and then you switch into farmlands later. This is a very odd pivot out of Cheese. And let's go put him on the back foot. And you can see the raiding in. Look how many are here as well. Oh, wow. Cheese, I'm concerned. Like, they haven't seen a tech up out the Roost player. That's why they're doing this. They've moved around. They've seen China's being ultra greedy. They've seen that the Mongol player is fully condensed and not really doing anything. So now they want to check in on what's happening in Roost Town. And what they're going to discover is that everything on this team is greed. I can't remember what the exact name was, but whatever it was, they should have switched it up to Team Greed, because that's all they are right now. I mean, I say that. Poor ArchSimKat here is trying to be reasonable. He's the one person who's trying to be active and present. And while it's an interesting concept, this is usually not how 3v3s go. One player gets to be greedy to cover that greed. You can't say that one player covers two players' greed in this situation. It's just not going to work. The only good upside right now is that everything coming out from Team 2 here is, or Team 1 rather, is cavalry, right? So the one weakness they have is they don't quick siege. They can maybe raid in with enough knights, and I think that's their purpose. Look at the scouts as well. 14 scouts moving in with the knights. And where's the army? Other than non-existent. Here they come. Look how quickly they're going to burn through this as well. Everything moves in. Incoming fire onto the villages they move in. The scout army round the back from For the Win. Cheesy went way too greedy with this. And they're going to punish it. They can eliminate him quickly here. Once the TC's gone, the Golden Gate will not last long. And he needs a way out. He needs it very soon. No reinforcements coming either. Instead, it's just more scouts. Crowbar doubles down. Oh, what a way to win this. I mean, I say win this. It seems premature, but once you're one player down at this stage, it feels all but over. The only way out is if Cheese can tech up right now, but he doesn't have that option. The Magadai are raiding on the sides. They're spotting any attempt. The town center is about to be burnt to cinders, and he's across onto the Golden Gate. And there's no counterattack either. What an absurdly greedy strategy coming out from Team 2 here. And no surprise, it's failed, guys. You know, this greed can be good when it's tempered. This was not tempered at all. This would cause a temper tantrum. And I don't know what the plan was. I mean, his name's For the Win Cheese. I don't see anything cheesy about what he was attempting here. Landmark's going to fall. And this game's going to be all but done. And I'm kind of surprised they haven't tapped out. I mean, Blodir, maybe he thinks he can carry this. Remember, he has gone up to castle now. He did have that 5 TC. He got away with it for quite a while. He has prepped himself for the Fire Lancers later. As you can see, he's left room for the Landmark, so he'll get that reduced Dynasty cost later. But you're 2 versus 3. That's the problem right now. And here come the Fire Lancers. Oh, wow, the tank damage, Crowbar. He moves 1 or 2 scouts in front of it, and it offsets most of the charge. And now you need to be a little bit careful with Blodir. Blodir, the problem he's going to have is there's so many scouts to tank everything at the front here. So he's not going to get the full value. He really needs something to assist here. But right now, there's no assistance coming out of the Mongols. Where is the Mongol army? Hello? I mean, a Khan is a very powerful unit, but it's not that powerful that it replaces an entire army. Okay, here it is. So it's got an Archer Force. Okay, that is depressingly small. Okay, I think the only thing really keeping Team 2 in this game right now is Delusion. I don't know if that's just delusion through ignorance or they've watched too many anime, but either way, this is not looking like a game you can easily turn around, if at all. Here come the Horse Archers, so Utku will kill off everything Blodir has. He has to run. Remember, you don't have much resistance. Only 135 health and 1 missile resistance against 13 damage per Horse Archer. And he's wasting the charge as well. It's not even optimized. So this will be traded out evenly. In the meantime, the Mongol player will try to push on the north, but to what end? And just more scouts coming out from Crowbar. I mean, he is the Crowbar. He's your Gordon Freeman right here. He's the one who's going to complete the story, and all the story is going to be is scouts. Who needs knights? You're just the Razor factor, right? Raising the buildings. Looks like Utku did get pushed back in the end. Remember, Blodir, he has a lot of production coming out right now. So many stables dropped and a big economy to support it. But look at this. Crowbar says, I think it's the Mongols' turn. And he'll start to move in. Barely any spearmen here. Rage straight in. Only a few knights, but a lot of scouts. They can burn for a lot of this. Need to be quick before the Chinese... Okay, come on, Blodir. Right now, ArchSimKat sends a carrier bird, a pigeon messenger. Please send help. Blodir's response. Not my ally. Blodir right now just trying to make China great again. He's gone full Trump. He's building walls. He's promising the economy is good. And he's saying we're going to rule the world. The rest of the world seems to disagree, though. Oy, oy, oy. And I mean, you know, it was an interesting idea with China booming up. But I almost just feel like these three players met 10 minutes before the sign-up close time. And they hadn't even discussed strategy. Because Cheese thought he was the boomer, Blodir thought he was the boomer, and SimKat, I don't know what he thought he was. I think he thought he was playing StarCraft or something. Not even I think he thought he was playing Doki Doki Universe. I don't understand any of these choices as a free. And Blodir, well, he's trying right now to turn this. It would be almost more on a game of throws than a game of wins, right? Like there's no way. There's absolutely no way Team 1 loses this, right? I mean, I say that. That's a lot of Fire Lancers coming to the base right now. And oh my god, the Knights can't stand up against this. Oh, the splash damage as well. If he turns this around, if he actually draws this back. Oh my god, Crowbar. He can't handle this on his own. He only has scouts. He's blocking them from trying to reach the buildings. Right now, though, Blodir, he's not doing the right play. He needs to burn stuff down. Big mistake. Remember, these Fire Lancers, they have a lot of damage against buildings. If he just focus fired onto the CC, maybe he would have got through it in time, but he waits too long. And now he's in trouble. He's going to be forced back. Meanwhile, in the north, a pushing coming in from ArchSimKat. He has got the Siege Workshop down, which is going to be burnt down. Actually, that was coming out from Pingu in the south. And Rams are being built. SimKat is up in tech 3, but he's resorting to Rams to try and end this game. Horse Archers are being built up. No counter to the Rams right now. He hasn't built melee, remember. And the melee forces from the southern team are in the northeast team, rather, in the north right now, south right now. Many directions being thrown out. Team 1 basically have not got melee on the front to help with this in the north. It is just ArchSimKat versus Utku Pasa. And Utku Pasa is being outnumbered quickly. Meanwhile, in the south, Blodir, is this working? I think this is. He's pushing out enough Fire Lancers that they're distracted in the south. They're not moving anywhere else. Oh my good god. If this works, the Rams are moving in. The infrastructure is full, and Utku needs help, and he needs it fast. He needs to build more infrastructure himself. And Utku, he's got 1,200 wood. Use the wood. Oh my god. I can't believe this is turning around. They sacrifice for the win cheese, and all of a sudden it enables this. I do not know if this was actually the strategy, or if this was a secondary plan that came into realization when they saw how strong China was. But it is actually working. And he's winning in the south! Oh my god. Victory by 1,000,000 corpses. This is some Stalin level strategy right here. Not one step back, not 1 foot given. If they want it, they must pay for it in blood. Meanwhile, in the north, the Allied forces are winning the war here. They'll push into Berlin from the west. And these lads are hard on the siege. They cannot pressure anymore. It's 2 versus 3, and yet they are holding. How's the economy looking right now? I'm concerned for Crowbar. Down to 37. Meanwhile, let's look at a reasonable comparative. 53 on the Mongols. And yeah, he raids deeper. He says, okay then, I'm done here. Let me just move in. I just want to touch your civvies here. Just 1 or 2 taps. Oh my god, instantly the Magadai gone. I don't know what you do here. I think you screwed up. You didn't want to sacrifice 1 to take out 1 more, and now instead, that 1 that you let live in the north is coming back to bite you in the ass. If it was just China, maybe you'd be able to hold out. But with his superior economy, bogging down 2 players, and then in the 1-on-1 in the north, horse archers alone aren't going to do anything here. There's no counter to the battering rams. And Utku, big mistake made here. He could have spammed out scouts. That would have been good enough. It's just mainly, at the moment, primarily just archers and spearmen. You could have sacrificed the scouts to get through the rams. Instead, those rams are getting through you, and he's going to surrender. They give it over. He's actually done it. I cannot believe this worked. The town center spam from China, 5 TCs by 5 minutes in, is good enough, and Blodir, with the assistance of SimKat, after sacrificing for the win cheese, they will take this best of 1 and eliminate what looked like an easy victory for the team in the East. I cannot. I just can't, guys. I know we were meant to be following the Muslim, but after that, I think one of these players has gone as bold as the Muslim, because that is not how that was meant to play out. When you're down 1 player like that, you're up against the ropes. You look like you're going to be shut out. But Blodir, he understands his timing. He utilizes it correctly, and all he has to do is non-stop spam. Look at these numbers right here. Look at this. Look at the graph. He never stopped rising. If anyone tells you that China is not a power nation in the 21st century, show them this graph. Because this was disgusting. And so effective. I don't know if it was part of the strategy to throw Cheese under the bus, but if it was, my God, what a Hail Mary it was, and how well it worked out. Really well done by them. They will proceed through, and instead, what looked like a sure deal for Team 1 here, they're going to be eliminated. Because remember, this is a round of 126, just 1 game, so opening up the day here in the Age of Empires 4 Pro League 3v3 in quite the fashion. Really well played by them. I look forward to checking in on them as they go deeper in the tournament. I wonder if there's going to be a repeat strategy or if this is just, you know, a pocket strat of some kind. But I'm excited to see how far these guys can go. So make sure you catch more of these games as the days go on. And if you're watching this on the YouTube side, make sure you subscribe. These videos are going to be going out over the next few days, back to back, just different series. And there's definitely a lot more big names like the Muslim, Kapoch, and the likes coming. So make sure you pay attention for those.